With the infield in, the count is 3-2 with 1 out to Shearholtz. And the pitch. Curveball hit through the hole on the right side of the Phillies and win the ball game. An RBI pinch hit single for Nate Shearholtz. And the Phillies have come from behind and they've won it 3-2. It's their 10th walk-off win of the season. And what a way to start this homestand.
Last night, the Phillies fans were hoping to ride the momentum of a Game 1 victory into last night's ball game, but then the rains came, and boy, did the rain stay for a long time. The fans, they were a hearty bunch. They were hanging outside in the crowd, hoping for an opportunity to see Phillies baseball, but after nearly 3 hours and still some smiling faces, it was time for the Phillies and the Phillies fans to check out, some before others. And last night's game was postponed, and now under blue skies, beautiful sunshine, the Phillies will have a day-night doubleheader. Game 1 of the day-night doubleheader is just ahead against the Colorado Rockies. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Boy, it is a beautiful day compared to yesterday. And Cole Hamels will take the baseball in game number 1. Tyler Cloyd in game 2. And Cole making his 3rd start of the year against the Rockies.
Yeah, one of the problems last night, Tom, they didn't want to have an interruption in the game and burn Hamels' start because he has been so good this year, and especially against these Colorado Rockies. He's had 2 starts against them so far, and he's pitched 8 innings in both of them. First one was back in June here in this ballpark, and he was typical Cole Hamels that night, throwing good fastball, changeup, had pinpoint control, and dazzled the Colorado Rockies. Phillies were able to win that game as they had a real good series against the guys in purple here in this ballpark. Now, later on, he's going to have to go out to Colorado, and it's a lot tougher when you pitch a game in Coors Field, and especially a day game. He had some trouble in the first inning, but he got a big strikeout on Gonzalez using his changeup really, really well early in that game to get big strikeouts with men on base. This play right here, Jimmy Rollins, bang, bang play at first base with runners in scoring position. And then as the game went along, he just dominated this lineup and pitched an outstanding game in a very, very difficult place to pitch. There's nowhere like Coors Field to go into and try and have a good ball game, especially when you're pitching in the daytime and the way the ball carries. This is what he's done against Colorado this year. 16 innings, picked up a couple of wins, and has been outstanding. Phillies hope he can do that again today, get this doubleheader off to a real good start, Tommy.
Well, it'll be a week since he last threw a baseball. He's had some bullpen sessions, but it's been 1 week since last Sunday when he faced the Atlanta Braves, when he should have picked up his 15th victory of the year. Well, today, he'll go after win number 15. He'll be opposed by Tyler Chatwood, who is making his 8th start of the season for the Colorado Rockies. So the fans filing in for a little day baseball. It could be a long, prosperous day for the Phils. Day-night doubleheader coming up against the Colorado Rockies. The lineups and first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross. We're creating a more coordinated healthcare system that is built around you. Independence Blue Cross, changing the game. Afternoon and hopefully evening for baseball, the first of a day-night doubleheader between the Phillies and the Colorado Rockies. Cole Hamels out on the hill, warming up as we speak. Let's take a look at the Rockies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in center field, Dexter Fowler. Shortstop Josh Rutledge bats second. Carlos Gonzalez hits third, followed by Willeen Rosario, the catcher. Andrew Brown, the right fielder, bats fifth. Chris Nelson hits sixth. Matt McBride from Liberty High School in Bethlehem is the first baseman. He'll bat seventh. DJ LeMahieu will bat eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is right-hander Tyler Chatwood. And they'll face Phillies lefty Cole Hamels. Hamels hasn't pitched since last Sunday, but is looking for win number 15, Wheels.
Yeah, and that would tie his career high, Tom. It looked like he had it on Sunday, too. And, well, everybody knows what happened in that last game that he pitched against Atlanta on Sunday when Chipper Jones just added to his legend with that walk-off home run. Here's a scouting report on Cole. As always, the key is locating his fastball. He's done really, really well with that. He's only lost one time to these guys, and that was on opening day at Colorado a few years ago.
Well, he's ready to go. So is Dexter Fowler, who stands in. Fowler hitting .306 with 13 home runs and 52 runs batted in. Lifetime 3 for 14 against Cole Hamels. And the first pitch of the day is in there for a strike, so it's 0-1. Fowler was 1 for 4 in game 1 of the series for the Rockies, a game which the Phillies won in the 9th inning. At the knees, 0-2.
Hard to have a much better day than this, he said, Tom. 76 degrees at game time. There's some puffy cumulus clouds overhead. It is really nice, especially compared to last night, which was not one real nice here.
Just didn't stop raining.
No, it wouldn't stop. They tried everything they could to try and get the game in because it's the last trip of the team coming in here. There's this beautiful afternoon. They just couldn't play.
Swing and a miss. He tied him up with a cutter. First strikeout of the day for Hamels. And with one away, it'll bring Josh Rutledge to the plate.
Well, it's time now for our Nissan keys to this afternoon's day game. These were the keys to the night game last night. We'll see if Cole Hamels can tie that career high in wins. And Phillies are going to see another guy this afternoon for the first time. There's been a lot of that lately.
And you would figure in September we might have that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Josh Rutledge takes a strike. So 4 pitches, 4 strikes from Hamels.
Yeah, the guy in the second game, Drew Pomerantz, we did see him. In fact, Hamels matched up against him in Denver.
But for Colorado, they've never seen Tyler
Cloyd. They've never seen Tyler Cloyd. Yeah.
Low 1-1 the count. Hamels at his last outing against the Braves went 6 innings. He allowed 3 runs, 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. He left with a rather comfortable lead. He probably could have pitched another inning in that ball game, but his defense let him down behind him, and he was forced to throw. I think we figured out it was 12 additional pitches because of the errors behind him, the misplays behind him. 2-1 the count to Rutledge. Outside and high, 3-1. Carlos Gonzalez on deck. Like to face him with nobody in scoring position. A foul tip, and it's 3-2.
Yeah, he's the guy in their lineup. For a long time, they had Tulowitzki, they had this guy, they had Matt Holliday. What a batting order they had. Power and speed. But now Tulowitzki is on the DL, of course, for a long time, and it's really down to Gonzalez. You don't want him to beat you. That's a big-time player right there.
And although his numbers are different on the road compared to home, he's still one of the better players in the league.
Absolutely. A very good outfielder, too.
Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. He got him to fish. Back-to-back strikeouts. Kratz was looking for the baseball, looking to tag Josh Rutledge because it was in the dirt, but Rutledge just walked away. And once the batter walks out of the circle or around a home plate, he is out without a throw.
There's a 3-2 changeup that he chases, and Kratz stands there and watches him the whole time, and then when he finally sees grass under the cleats, okay, play's over.
That is by rule. If a hitter decides that he's not going to run and he walks out of the circle into the grass, then he is out without a throw or a tag. 2 outs. Here's Gonzalez. He shows bunt, and he bunts it foul. Why is he doing that? Because he was befuddled by Hamels the last time they faced each other.
Right, but he's the one guy in their line. They have other guys. Don't get me wrong. They can hit homers up and down their lineup, but he's their man. He's an extra base guy. Yeah, he has trouble against Hamels, but still, just swing the bat.
2 for his last 22 against left-handers. 1 ball and 1 strike the count to Gonzalez. There's Rob Drake, the third base umpire. One ball, 1 strike the count. Off the hands, a pop up around second. Chase Utley with the sunglasses on defers to Rollins. An easy 1-2-3 inning for Cole Hamels. 13 pitches, and Hamels is done with the first. We're just starting the bottom of the first when we get back to Citizens Bank Park. To see right-hander Tyler Chatwood. Let's take a look at the Phils starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Batting second is the right fielder Nate Scherholtz. Chase Utley bats third, followed by Ryan Howard, the first baseman. John Mayberry's in center field. He'll hit fifth. Dominic Brown bats sixth, and the bottom third, Kratz, Martinez, and Hamels. And they'll face right-hander Tyler Chatwood, a 22-year-old from Redlands, California.
Yeah, he had big league experience with California, with the Angels. Came over from the Angels last year in late November for a trade for catcher Chris Iannetta. This is what he's done so far. Started out in the pen. Now 7 straight starts. We have him down with a fastball in that range. Slider, curve, changeup. Looking at his numbers and all the GIDPs grounded into double plays that he's thrown, he must be a ground ball pitcher. So that's what probably be looking for here this afternoon.
And the starting pitchers for the Rockies have not allowed an earned run in 16 consecutive innings, or had not allowed an earned run in 16 consecutive innings before the last game against the Phils. They've been feeling pretty good about themselves lately. Jimmy Rollins has had a better September than August, and the first pitch to him is taken for a strike. Rollins is hitting just .229 in the second half, partly because of average-wise a poor August, but he's picked it up here in September. Rollins was 1 for 4 in game 1 of this series. But he scored the winning run for the Phils in the bottom of the 9th inning. Swing and a miss. He gets it with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. 1 away here in the first.
Hey, he's got a little hook in his delivery. So they haven't seen him before. That ball had a little bit, tried to run and sink on Jimmy Rollins, really folding. See that little bit of a hook he has as he takes the ball out of the glove. That could be a little bit deceptive when you haven't seen a guy.
So 1 batter up, 1 batter down for the Phillies, and now Scherholtz, who's making his 47th start of the year. Most of his starts have come in right field. And the first pitch is over for a strike. It's 0-1.
Charlie's really left-handed with his lineup right now, and his extra man, there's not much he can do about it because Franson can't play. Ruiz could maybe pinch hit him. And then the other player would be Wigginton, and he would be the one guy he could still have if he hit him. And if he hit him for somebody who's in the game that he needs to replace, could go into the game. He's really short right-handed, especially for the second game against a left-handed pitcher.
And Carlos most likely will not be behind the plate until later on this week if he does at all. 0-2 the count to Scherholz. And that one's in on the hands. A chopper back to the mound. So 2 quick outs here at the bottom of the first. Chadwood was selected in the second round by the Angels in 2008. Jerry DiPoto, their new general manager, who is the one who initiated the trade to get Chris Iannetta, said trades are never easy, but catching is never easy to come by, which Iannetta was. It's difficult to give up Tyler because of his ability, and he has such a big upside. But catching, to get catching and establish catching, was the point of the trade. And Iannetta this year for the Angels is hitting .263 with 8 home runs. Chatwood starts Utley off with a strike.
It's really early. Pretty live arm. As I said, he does look like he hides it a little bit, and he's throwing sinking fastballs or trying to.
Oh, and 1 the count to Utley. And Chase takes away. It's 1-1. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Felicia Avent of Philadelphia. If the Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Felicia will win $200. So good luck to her. That ball's hit toward the hole, and a diving stop by LeMahieu, and from his knees he throws out Utley. And the Phillies are retired in order here in the first inning. So both teams go down quietly in their half of the first. So that means we move to the top of the second, a scoreless game here in Philadelphia. Bat 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, iDroid, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text that bat to 31826 or visit Phillies.com for details. Willeen Rosario leads it off here in the top of the second. And the first pitch to him is taken low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Rosario first among rookies in home runs with 23. Two and 0 the count. The ball's hit well toward left field. Brown on the run. He got a late jump on it. It's a foul ball. And it's 2-1.
hit off the end of the bat a little bit, and really hooked it down the left field line. This guy is strong, and he has hit the ball well against the Phillies, especially here.
Unfortunately, it did hook foul, so it turns out to be just a strike. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike now to Rosario. 1 for 4 in the opener of this series. Good changeup from Hamels, and it's 2-2.
Great pitch to throw to this guy, especially when you're behind in the count like that, because he's going to swing fastball. He's swinging fastball here. He's going to hit himself a home run. And just a little early.
Thought he might get it again, but instead he gets a fastball. And the first base umpire, Toby Bastner, says that Rosario held his swing, and now it's 3-2. Andy Fletcher's behind the plate. Bastner's over at first. Sam Holbrook is at second, and he'll probably have the plate in game 2. Holbrook will, the crew chief. Fletcher will be off. He'll enjoy a night out in Philadelphia, or maybe get to his destination, wherever that is. There's a base hit for Rosario.
Yeah, right after they thought they had him struck out 2 ways.
We are just 1 week away from the premiere of PHL 17's newest hit comedy. Terry Crews and Ice Cube star in the hilarious sitcom Are We There Yet?, based on the popular movie franchise. Weeknights at 5:30 starting at September 17th on PHL 17. So a base runner to start the second. Andrew Brown is the hitter. Brown had a heck of a year at AAA. 308 with 24 home runs. And he takes at the knees, 0-1.
Well, they're experimenting with a lot of young players right now. It'll be very interesting to see this ball club come out of spring training next year and what it is.
You figure up the middle, as long as he's healthy, Tulowitzki will be at short and Rutledge will be at second.
That's the game plan.
And Fowler will be in center field. And Rosario will be catching. So up the middle, they're set. You don't know how healthy Helton will be for Jim Tracy.
And they're pitching, what they're going to do as far as their bullpen goes, which of these starters they like that they're trying to develop. Are they going to stay with this, the way they use them, just the 75 pitches?
They say they are.
That's going to be an organization thing, huh?
Yep.
Wow. You have to a lot of selfless players because you won't be able to get numbers for arbitration and other things that other guys get.
Outside with a fastball, 2-1. Brown 245 with a couple home runs. He was a pinch runner in game 1. That was it. Came out a pinch run for Jason Giambi.
Yeah, he was the guy to get thrown out in the back end of that swing and a miss, hit and run. Real good play by Eric Kratz.
Chris Nelson waits on deck. Fouls the 3-1 back. It's 3-2.
These guys like to run, especially when they're on the road, maybe even more so than at home where they hit more home runs. So wouldn't be surprised even with nobody out they run here 3-2. Unless Jim Tracy just has a guy at home plate that swings and misses a lot, and we haven't seen him enough.
Well, this is already the 3rd full count for Cole. Yeah, the first couple of innings of the game. Let's see what they do with Rosario leading off first. He doesn't go. And the pitch is lined towards second. Caught by Utley. The flip not in time. If he did go, that would have been a dead double play.
Yep. And Chase had a shot at him anyway, but he couldn't get anything on the throw, so he kind of grenaded over there. See, the ball's hit really hard, and the way Utley has to take it off his throw off his heels, couldn't get anything on it. Rosario was able to get back.
So with 1 out, the Phillies will set up for 2. Chris Nelson is the hitter. And Rosario at first. Nelson's 0 for his last 11. 0 for 4 in the opener. He's had a pretty good year for the Rockies, though.
He's strong. This guy can hit some home runs.
You know, conceivably, if the Cardinals lose to the Brewers today and the Phillies sweep this day-night doubleheader, Wheels, the Phillies could be 5 out of the wild card going into tomorrow's game. 5. Now, even if the Cardinals win today, if the Phillies sweep the doubleheader, they could still be 6 out of the wild card. Crazy, right?
Yeah, it sure is.
0-2 the count.
Well, you keep winning your own games. See what happens. Say all along, I want to see them get to 500 and
well,
then take a shot at see what happens after that. You get to 500, then you're going to be in the mix a little bit.
0-2 the count to Nelson. Line drive just over the head of Rollins. It'll drop into left for a base hit. He sounded like he may have broken his back.
Yes, a piece of it went flying.
So good pitch by Hamels, location wise, but good swing by Nelson.
Looked like he cut a fastball in on him. See him pull his hands in, and there goes that splinter. A little bigger than a splinter. Piece of the bat come loose.
No, with 1 out and 2 on, it'll bring Matt McBride to the plate. Matt, we mentioned before, out of Lehigh University, out of Liberty High School. This year at Colorado Springs, he had .344 with 10 home runs. Pops the first pitch foul on play. He grew up a Phillies fan. In fact, he was trying to listen or watch the 2008 World Series, but he was playing winter ball in Hawaii at that point, off-season baseball in Hawaii, and he just couldn't get it. But he had a heck of a career at Lehigh. Drafted after his junior year by the Indians. He was the throw-in, Wheels, in the Ubaldo Jimenez trade. Just the throw-in.
There were a lot of players involved in that going towards Denver.
And he's made it to the big leagues.
What a kick this has to be for him to play here.
And then face Cole Hamels.
Yeah.
1-1 the count to him. Off the inside corner, 2-1.
Growing up a Phillies fan, you know he knows. Boy, he throws a good changeup.
Matt McBride won the Patriot League's Triple Crown during his junior year. 2 balls, 1 strike to count to him. Gets a changeup, and that'll be out of play. It's 2-2.
The way he holds the bat, it looks like he's trying to be quick. Have a short swing, not a big power hitter type swing, even though he has hit some homers.
I think he has some family here, and there they are.
I think he's got to be so excited.
He's got a Colorado Springs shirt on there, and there you see the Sky Sox baseball.
Lehigh
University, yeah. 2-2 the count. Fly ball, shallow left field. Dominic Brown makes the catch. 2 outs here in the second.
They're trying to crowd him a little bit. He's throwing a lot of cutters here early in this game,
which is different than the last game against the Braves, when he threw, according to our reports, 3% of his pitches were cutters, and that's low for Cole.
Very low. He's been throwing more fastball changeup mix.
So now DJ LeMahieu, 1 for 4 in the opener. 273 with a home run. And the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike, a fastball, and it's 0-1. Late on a fastball, 0-2.
Go all kinds of ways now. Get a hitter 0-2 and you have Cole Hamels put away stuff. One thing he doesn't have to do is throw a strike. Got him. Just couldn't quite hold on. Eric Kratz couldn't quite hold on to that foul tip, but he had him with a fastball away.
Change up, floated right back toward the middle. A base hit. Rounding third, heading for home is Rosario. Here's the throw to the plate by Mayberry. It is not in time. And the Rockies take a 1-0 lead. An RBI single by LeMahieu.
8-hole hitter hurts you 0-2 with a runner in scoring position. Nobody'd be more ticked off than Hamels, because he doesn't have to throw a strike there, and it looked like he did with a changeup. Yeah, it's up, and it's a strike. And with Rosario runs pretty well for a catcher. He got a good jump with 2 strikes. I mean, with 2 outs.
Well, there's a line drive to right center field. That'll be a base hit for Chatwood, and another run will score. An RBI single. Scoring easily from second is Chris Nelson, and it's 2-0 Rockies. Kid took a swing as if he was a position player.
He's 1 for 8 for that.
That's his first RBI.
And Cole Hamels probably still stewing a little bit from getting hurt on that 0-2 changeup, and he's going to throw a get-ahead fastball to a pitcher. You don't expect him to do that there. Swing like this. It's right down the middle. It's up, and it was a hit-me pitch, and he did.
Well, now he's got a bear down with the top of the order up. Dexter Fowler, and runners on first and third. Phillies trail at 2-0 here in the second. And a changeup hit to right field. Sherholtz on the run. He's there, and he puts it away. So Hamels touched for 2 runs on 4 hits here in the second. We move to the bottom of the second inning. It's the Rockies 2 and the Phillies nothing. Phillies, 2 night games, and then the afternoon game on Wednesday, the 4:05 start. Don't forget, it's a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night on Tuesday, the 11th of September. Wednesday, the 4:05 start also features all fans getting the Carlos Ruiz Pride of the Phillies prints. You could purchase tickets at Phillies.com. There's Carlos Ruiz. He is the pride of the Phillies and their fans. Hoping to get back in the swing of things at some point in the next few days. Very important to him to finish out the year and get some more at-bats, just to leave on a positive note. He still has some pain, but not as much, he said, even as he had a couple weeks ago.
I saw him this morning talking to him a little bit. He feels really good. But they just don't want to do anything to re-injure that if, in fact, there is still a problem there. And they think, hey, they wouldn't activate him. They didn't think he could go out there and play.
We'll watch his offense get their hacks in the second inning. Ryan Howard, John Mayberry, Dominic Brown. Phil's down 2-0. By the way, we were talking about the Phillies. If they won both today and the Cardinals lost, they'd be 5 out of the wild card. Wheels, there have been 31 teams. We were thinking about what the record needs to be before the end of the year. 31 teams in baseball history, including the 2011 Tigers and 2010 Phils, who finished the year 19-5. Phillies would then
have 86 wins at that point if they finish 19-5. As Howard takes upstairs. There have been 16 teams who have finished 20-4, which would be 87 wins. The last team being the 2002 Cardinals.
That would be some run when you consider what they've been doing lately. Put that on top of that.
Right.
That would be remarkable.
I guess my surprise is how many teams have finished 19-5 and let's say 20-4. I just didn't think it was that many teams.
How about what Colorado did that one year?
That's true.
They were unbelievable in the month of September. They hardly lost a game the year they went to the World Series.
Howard hits it hard, but LeMahieu is there. One out. Well, the Phillies, there has been precedent, but obviously the Phillies have the Brewers, the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers, the Pirates that they'd have to climb over in order to overtake the Cardinals.
Yeah, and you just saw in that inning that just passed all the things that happen in baseball in a game that how you can lose a game when you let the 8 and 9 hole hitters hurt you with 2 outs. But it was early, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Here's John Mayberry. Mayberry, 256 on the year with 14 home runs and 40 runs batted in. Outside, 1-0 the first pitch. 8 for his last 23 is Mayberry. Two and 0 the count. Mayberry has 27 runs batted in his last 32 starts. That's some pretty good numbers. 3-0 the count to him here. And he takes ball 4, so he's aboard with a 1-out walk. First base runner of the day for the Phillies. Dominic Brown is the batter, and since it's the first base runner of the day, that can only mean one thing, Wheels. It's time to talk to Murph. Murph?
Well, thank you very much, Tom. And, you guys were just talking about Carlos Ruiz and how he is basically day-to-day. Charlie, not exactly sure when he's going to be able to get him back behind the plate, but he could be used as a pinch hitter. Well, Kevin Franson is in a similar situation. Yesterday, he had an MRI on the ankle that was ailing him, and it turns out he has a stress fracture in his left fibula, and he's going to be able to play and play to tolerance, we're told, but he probably won't play for a couple days. They're going to let that rest for a little bit and then get him back out there. So it's really going to be up to Kevin, how much pressure he can put on that and how much pain that he can tolerate going forward. But that's why Charlie has a little bit of fewer options right now on the right side of the plate, because guys are a little bit banged up at this point.
And speaking of guys that are banged up, Brian Schneider is down in Florida. He's been battling that hamstring. He's got a little soreness in his ankle too. And Raul Valdez had surgery to repair a torn meniscus in his knee. So, there are injuries everywhere, Murph.
Well, it's that time of the year, Tom, as you finish up a long season. Guys are getting nicked up here and there. Obviously these guys want to be out there on the field, and the guys we started talking about, Carlos and Kevin, will be back out on the field. It's just a matter of when at this point.
All right, well, we appreciate that update, Murph. And the count is 1-0 to Dominic Brown. Make that 2 balls and no strikes to Brown. Dominic, a .234 hitter with a home run and 13 runs batted in. 1 for his last 23. And he lines that one for a base hit to right field. A pretty good swing right there.
Real good swing. Got a fastball up and pulled it. Got a head in the count too, and that was the key. Here's Dominic Brown, gets ahead and got a 2-0 sinker, up a little bit. Left-handed hitter, ergo low ball hitter. At least it seems that way.
Well, with 1 out, Eric Kratz will be the hitter. Kratz .277 on the year with 9 home runs, 24 runs batted in.
This guy's thrown 5 home run balls this year. 4 of them to right-handed hitters. Remember, he does supposedly throw ground balls, so double plays are always on the horizon. for Chatwood.
Been a little wild in this inning, and the Phillies a little patient with him too, which is a good thing.
We always wonder what a guy's like the first time you get him in a stretch, especially you haven't seen him before. Is he different? First time he got in the stretch, he went 2-0 on Brown. He got a hit. He's thrown many of breaking balls. There's one. He's really fighting the home plate umpire right now. Cole thought he had Nelson struck out in the first inning, and he could have been out of that inning with nothing if he had gotten that strikeout.
Well, Bo McLaughlin is going out to the mound to talk to Chatwood. He's one of the 2 pitching coaches for the Rockies.
Jim Wright, the other one, former Phil.
Yeah, Jim Wright's in charge of the bullpen. Bo McLaughlin's in charge of the starters.
Well, he could see what was going on there. His body language was terrible all of a sudden. Fighting the home plate umpire, maybe not throwing the pitches that they wanted him to throw.
So 2 balls and no strikes the count. Bo McLaughlin and Jim Wright took over the pitching coach duties from Bob Apodaca. Wright was the bullpen coach. He remains out there, but they've kind of done something a little different with the way they handle the pitchers. Fastball on the inside corner. It's 2-1. Mayberry's on second. Dominic Brown's on first. Phil's threatening here, down 2-0. Chatwood last year was 6-11 with an ERA of 4.75 with the LA Angels.
Eric Kratz as a catcher wanted to take a look at that ball. He must have a little mark on it, and he didn't like it, so they did look at it, threw it away. Now he's been a really good cripples hitter. Here he's in that ahead in the count, 3-1. He can cut the plate in half. He's shown that.
Chopper to the left side, and it's flagged down by Rutledge, and he gets the runner at third.
Whoa.
That's a really good play.
Only play.
Kind of play that could change the course of an inning.
Sure. Think you're going to have bases loaded. The worst you're going to have here is bases loaded, 1 out. And nice job by Nelson, the third baseman, to give him a lane too. This is a really hard play. Shortstop throwing on the run with a runner coming in. Tough angle. You really need the fielder on the other end to come out and give you something to throw at. And look what he did. How far he was out there, and gave him that lane.
Went to the back of the bag.
Yeah.
Well, 2 outs. Michael Martinez, the hitter. And Martinez hits it to left field, playable for Gonzalez, and that's going to do it for the inning. So Chatwood runs into a little bit of trouble here in the second, but gets out of it. He gets the 8-hole hitter to finish up the second. We go to the third. The Rockies up top, 2-0. Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wills, the question is, name the 3 Rockies that have won the National League home run title.
Boy, there are a lot of candidates there.
There are a lot of candidates, but we need 3. The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning.
How about all the bombardiers they've had?
Well, we just need 3. Just need 3.
It could be 6.
It could be, but we just need 3.
Yeah, well, what are the odds you're going to get 3 that are right?
I think you have pretty good odds, Wills. Josh Rutledge is 0 for 1.
I know one of them flat out, but then be guessing.
Rutledge struck out his only time up. He's 0 for 1. 18 multi-hit games in this his rookie year, including Friday's ball game against Cliff Lee.
And a really fine play. Just made it shortstop to short circuit that inning.
Swing and a miss. And 3 strikeouts for Hamels.
Well, that's the kind of changeup he wanted to throw to the 8-hole hitter LeMahieu with 2 strikes on him and just wasn't able to execute the pitch. Look at that thing dive down and out of the zone. That's unhittable.
Well, with 1 out, Carlos Gonzalez, who popped out to short his first time up. He stands in. He takes inside and low, 1-0.
Phillies got into a quick 2-0 hole in that game. Seems like a long time ago. Friday night, and then rallied late to win it, tie it, and then win it.
Yeah, Jeff Francis, the starter for the Rockies. Again, he was allowed just 75 pitches, or at least in that area. And when he came out of the game, the Phillies were happy because he had them off balance with all his soft stuff.
Yeah, he had a couple guys in the lineup. He could throw that curveball to all night, and they weren't going to hit it.
Off-speed pitch, 2-2 the count to Gonzalez. While the Phillies were postponed yesterday, everybody else seemed to play, including the Brewers and the Cardinals. Brewers are 1 game from getting to the 500 mark.
Yeah, they've been hot.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Outside 3-2.
Hamels is really battling Andy Fletcher right now. Think how he reacted with Nelson was up there, and he wound up walking or giving up a hit, and then he wouldn't have given up anything. Now that's low. Now you see his reaction right there. It's happened a couple times, and it's early. And last inning, Chatwood was doing that a little bit, and that's why his pitching coach came out. Well, Fletcher's kind of ignored it, which, to his credit, is better than taking the mask off and start acting like you're all ticked off too.
Over to first, and a big hop for Ryan Howard. Hamels is there to cover. Two outs. Willeen Rosario is due up. Phillies social media followers, get your ticket for a Phillies social pregame event tomorrow. Ticket package includes a Vance Worley Twitter tee, access to a special batting practice viewing area, a concessions credit, and more. For tickets and for information, visit Phillies.com/social media. Well, with 2 away, Willeen Rosario, the batter, he singled and scored his first time up on a base hit by LeMahieu. Fly ball right field. And Nate Shearholtz is wandering under it. A 1-2-3 inning for Cole Hamels. He retires the Rockies in order. He's set down 4 in a row. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Hamels will lead it off when we return.
which is brought to you by Ford. With 16 vehicles that get 30-plus MPG. Go further. Visit your Quality Plus Sports store today. By McDonald's. Now at McDonald's, any size soft drink or sweet tea is $1. By Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. Wheels, I was going to do the trivia question again.
You know, I was thinking, gee, I'm not sure. I haven't had time to figure it out yet.
Cole Hamels leads it off here in the bottom of the third.
You know, when you've done this so long together, you know, you get in kind of a routine. Well, I did a double take then. Like, where's he going with this?
Oh, that was funny.
It was. Yeah, that's what you'd have gotten in return. Really haven't had a chance to bear down on that question yet.
That's funny.
Well, that came quick. Well, we could use a quick game with the second one coming up.
That is true.
Get to the seventh inning fast.
2-0 the count to Hamels. On the outside corner, 2-1. Hamels 237 with a home run and 5 runs batted in.
I almost blurted out the name I knew. Or I think I know.
And then you would have gotten 2 buzzers because you didn't know the other 2.
Exactly. Well, everything's a little out of whack here today. They're starting at 1 o'clock.
Rollins waits on deck.
We had stuff going on today, a little late doing the opening.
We did have a lot going on today.
How about that? Walk the pitcher.
Second walk issued by Chatwood. Well, that's been one of his issues. He walked 5 against the Braves last time out in 3 innings. He averages nearly 5 walks per game.
Right. 3 hits last time and 5 walks. He had at least 8 base runners in those 3 innings.
Well, Jimmy Rollins struck out his first time up. Rollins, who is 2 stolen bases away from 400 for his career.
A lot of numbers for Jimmy this year.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Off the end of the bat to left field, Gonzalez makes the catch.
He's throwing him that little sinking type of fastball away, and he swung and missed at 1, and that one fooled him too, because you know he's trying to pull the ball there. Or at least his mindset is pull the ball early in the count.
Budweiser, through the Walk-Off a Hero program, will donate $5,000 to Folds of Honor for every Phillies walk-off win. Please join Budweiser and the Phillies in honoring those who keep our nation safe and free. 1 out. Nate Shearholtz, the hitter. He grounded out to the pitcher his first time up. First breaking pitch that we've seen today from Chatwood.
Laugh a little. I couldn't help it. The Fanatic just came running down the aisle. Just really scared some people.
Why do they do that, Wheels?
Kind of looks like our office and you looking for Sarge.
Shearholtz lifts that to shallow right field over toward the line. Andrew Brown
threw something off speed there and got him way out front.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Pittsburgh has taken a 1-0 lead over Chicago. Andrew McCutchen has blasted a home run for the Pirates. Pirates 72-66, 11 out in the division, and a game and a half behind the Cardinals in the wild card.
They've really been struggling, have the Pirates. They were in very, very good shape there for a while. Division got away with Cincinnati as hot as they got. But they look like they were going to be in there for the wild card. They still are. But they look like they're going to be in more command for a position.
Utley takes low. It's 1-0. They're 6 over 500 right now. The Pirates are. They have lost 6 of 10, but their struggles have stretched back even beyond that.
Hadn't they gotten up to like 15 over 500?
I think that may have been the number.
It was in the teens somewhere. Because you thought, well, they're finally going to have a season where they're over 500, and then who knows what they can do.
1-0 the count to Utley. And Utley hits it toward the shift and right through the shift. Hamels is thinking about 3. He's going to go to third.
Boy, he hit that ball hard to get it through there like that. Still looked like his shortstop on the other side of second base, Rutledge, was going to make a diving play on that and just missed it. There's the overshift, and he doesn't have much room to get the ball through, and he did. See the dive right there by Rutledge, and he can't quite come up with it. Cole Hamels, such a good athlete, first to third on the play. Not as big a deal with 2 outs, but it does make it easier for Juan Samuel. Now there's no doubt he obviously goes, and you don't have to worry about running him into contact if he were at second on a base hit.
Well, that'll bring Ryan Howard to the plate. Howard, with 27 runs batted in his last 32 games, has a chance here to put the Phillies on the board. They play with 3 infielders on the right side of the diamond. They didn't do this the last time Howard was up. And he fouls the first pitch away. It's 0-1.
Yeah, same shift they just had on for Chase Utley. Have to keep the third baseman a little closer here because of the base runner. I don't know if you really worry about it that much. So with a pitcher, he's not going to steal home.
To the count to Ryan. In the dirt, Rosario blocks it.
Did a nice job selling out there and blocking that. It was a breaking ball anticipated in the dirt, but not 55 feet necessarily. Even when you know this is coming, that's a tough one to block. Look how far that bounced out in front of home plate. And Hamels is real good base running. Almost got the Phillies a run by scoring on a wild pitch there.
Line drive, base hit it to center field. That'll score Hamels. Utley's on his way to third. Let's see what Sammy does. He's waving him home. Here's the throw to the plate. It is not in time. Over the head of Rosario. A 2-run double for Howard. It's a 2-2 game.
Wow, you talk about great base running. Chase Utley, tremendous base running. As Tom said, you could see it coming. We'd say, watch what happens. Because he ran so hard on that play that when it got into the alley out there a little bit, you could almost see Sammy wanting to send him. The outfielder has to go to his right. There's a breaking ball right now. Now the outfielder has to go to his right. Right here, you see the right fielder now he has to throw off balance a little bit. It's a really tough relay, and he got the catcher Rosario way up in the air. Just tremendous base running. Good job by Juan Samuel at third base too.
So it's a 2-2 game. Howard's at second, and it's 1-0 to Mayberry, who hasn't seen a strike yet from Chatwood.
Well, you hustle and you can do some things with your legs, and obviously he can do some things with his legs again, which is nice to watch. That's a tremendous play.
1-0 the count to Mayberry, and that's low. 2-0.
Once Brown had to go that far to his right and throw off his, throw across his body a little bit. It's tough to get a lot on the throw to the cutoff guy.
That ball gets away from Rosario. It's going to enable Howard to go to third, which is great because now a base hit definitely could score.
We were talking about him the other night that he gets a little careless back there and pass balls, and it looked like he just, I don't know, it's hard to tell from where we are. It looked like he tried to backhand that thing. Let's see if you can see. Did he get crossed up? Did it fool him?
I think he just missed it.
He did it.
Just missed it.
It was right off the heel of the glove. He had to catch it that way, but not off the heel. Hurt too. Hurt his hand. It's one of the reasons why he just went out to the pitcher to get a little blow, because that probably caught off the wrist a little bit where that was. I was going to say stay loose at third again, but it's tough for Ryan Howard to score.
3-0 the count to Mayberry. Wondered if he'd get the green light He took a fastball for a strike, but Chatwood's been. I mean, he's got 21 balls, 22 strikes,
right.
So he's been all over the place.
Yeah, and that wasn't a real good 3-0
no.
pitch to swing at, even if he had it.
I say that because of those numbers there on the bottom. 7 for his last 13 with runners in scoring position.
Sure.
Phillies have tied it up at 2 on a 2-run double by Ryan Howard. Because of his base running.
Yep. Great base running by Cole Hamels too in that inning, and then Chase. He didn't have to worry about chasing Hamels around the bases there because he had walked home at that point.
Check swing, ball 4.
That was a really good block that time by Rosario. He's got a lot of balls in the dirt. But all the runs scored today on 2 outs, both sides.
Brown singled his first time up. Curveball in there for strike, 0-1. Another curveball chopped to the right side. Mayhew throws out Brown. The Phillies settle for 2. They tie the ball game up on what turns out to be a 2-run double by Ryan Howard. Couple that with the base running of Chase Utley, and Juan Samuel playing it a little aggressive, and the Phillies tie it up at 2. Like swing line staplers, the most reliable staplers you can buy. From who? But W.B. Mason. Top of the 4th we go. The Phillies and the Rockies tied at 2. Gary Matthews joins us up here at the booth. Cole Hamels, who walked to start the bottom of the 3rd, scored the first run, and then Chase Utley, who just, the little things a lot of times is what is fun to watch when it comes to Chase Utley, who scored with Hamels on the 2-run double by Ryan Howard. I mean, when he rounded second, Sarge, I didn't think there was a chance he could score until I saw Juan Samuel waving him home.
Well, exactly where the ball's hit. You're supposed to go around those bases so that the coach can give you a chance to score when you're coming around third base. But that's not gone. I mean, you're not doing that when the play is developing. I mean, you are already thinking, I'm going to be going to third. Now it makes it easy to bring him in if he bobbles it, or in this particular case, too far over.
Andrew Brown lined out his first time up. He's ahead 2 balls and 1 strike.
The change up, and it's 2-2. Seem to say that every time Cole throws a changeup. The only one that wasn't good was the one he threw to LeMahieu.
Yeah, when he gets it up in the zone and out over the plate, easier pitch to hit.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Washington trails Miami 3-0 in the second. Ricky Nolasco, who's starting for the Marlins, has a 2-run double. Marlins will be in town beginning tomorrow. And ball 4, a leadoff walk to Andrew Brown. First walk issued by Cole, but Sarge, he's had a few at bats where he's run some deep counts.
Running deep counts, that means though not really fine tuned on the control, but he'll find it. Nice day out here today. Great day to pitch. Now that they've scored him a couple of runs, that should make him feel a little bit better.
I was thinking about that. It kind of clears the slate a little bit for a pitcher, because in your mind you're thinking, I made this bad pitch, I made that bad pitch, but now you can just clear the slate.
Yeah, you hate to give up runs at the end of the lineup, meaning that 8th and 9th hitter, and those are the guys that actually really kind of hurt them, and those are the kind of guys that #1 pitchers should be able to get out majority of the time.
Yeah, we were saying when he gave up the hit to LeMahieu, there was a changeup that was up, that it was probably still on his mind when he was facing the pitcher.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be. He should be able to put him away. We'll see what happens when he comes up this next time.
Nelson checks. He went around, says Andrew Fletcher, the home plate umpire. And it's 0-2. Nelson singled and scored one of the 2 runs for the Rockies in the second.
Hasn't thrown a lot of curveballs so far today. Pretty good pitch.
Ball gets away from Kratz, and up to second goes Brown. And that'll be a wild pitch. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I don't know if that ball went right off of home plate or towards the end. I think for me, though, if he turns the glove the other way, he might have a little better success just in keeping that ball out in front. Remember, not trying to actually catch it. You're trying to keep the ball out in front.
Ground ball left side. Martinez cuts it off. Nice play. Throws out Nelson. He even had a time to look the runner back to second.
Yeah, he showed, however, he can play some third base. Martinez gets a great jump on the ball there. Gets a little low 5 from Jimmy Rollins, but I got to tell you, this ball deep in the hole, had a chance of getting into left field. Take a look at it as he turns 360 and puts that ball right on the money.
Every time I see Ryan Howard catch a ball like that, I think he's going to break a finger. Because that guide hand, the throwing hand, is almost like it's in the way of the ball sometimes.
Yeah, I guess he feels comfortable in catching it that way.
There's your curveball, Sarge, that you were asking for. 0-1 the count.
Yep. Just to give the hitter a little something else to look at. McCovey used to always just one-hand the ball when he was stretching and trying to catch it from a fielder.
Sometimes you pick up habits. We all do. You do, I do. And Ryan's picked up this habit of using both hands for some reason.
Well, again, he just feels more comfortable, but when you're stretching, it's easier to stretch and a little longer with catching with one hand as opposed to 2.
It's deep down the left field line, but foul.
Well, that fastball there, 93, catching up to it. Maybe just a little bit too much of the plate.
0-2 the count to Matt McBride. Off the hands, out towards shortstop. Two gone here in the top of the fourth in 2 weeks. Sarge, Sunday nights on PHL 17 is all new with names like John Lovitz, Bill Bellamy, and Vivica A. Fox. Catch the premiere of First Family at 8 and Mr. Box Office at 9. Sunday, September 23rd, right here on PHL 17. LeMahieu singled the first run home for the Rockies. First pitch is fouled back. It's 0-1. Rockies with 2 runs on 4 hits. The Phillies with 2 runs on 3 hits.
He's got to make sure, though, the 2 outs. It's his pitch. And you got that pitcher coming up next, even though he got a base hit. You want to let him hit a pitch that he's uncomfortable with.
One ball, 1 strike to count. Chopper over to short, backhanded by Rollins. Sets himself on the tail end of the dirt, and he throws out LeMahieu. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits. 1 man left in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Eric Kratz will lead it off. Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Play The Price is Right, the new instant game for the Pennsylvania Lottery. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. And buy Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer or visit ChevyDealer.com. Bottom of the 4th inning, the fans soaking it in out at Ashburn Alley. Quick reminder that, hey, take a look at the Powerball and the Mega Millions. The Powerball, which goes off on Wednesdays and Saturdays, is up to $110 million, Sarge. And the Mega Millions, which is Tuesdays and Fridays, is at $120 million.
Yeah, I'll take either one of those.
You wouldn't be alone. What about imagine if you won both of them in 1 week?
Oh, boy. All my friends would be wealthy people.
Even the friends that you don't know are friends right now would be wealthy people.
You're right about that.
Eric Kratz reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. He leads off the bottom of the 4th. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
In the minor leagues this year, Chatwood was 1-3 with an ERA of 4.70. He didn't particularly have the same issues with his walks, but during his career in the minor leagues, he has struggled with the walks. As we said, in the big leagues, he's averaging nearly 5 walks per game. The minor leagues, he walked 202 in 387 innings. Combine that with the hits, and he was well above 1.5 as far as walks and hits per innings pitched.
Well, his consistency will come when he stops walking a lot of hitters. The one thing he has, though, is pretty good breaking ball. And that fastball does have some movement, but he's lucky that he's able to come up here and learn as opposed to staying in the minor league.
That ball is lined to left and caught by Gonzalez. Kratz hit it right on the nose.
Yep.
Gets it up in the air. It might be up in the air a little bit more.
Yeah, he can drive the ball. He drives that ball and hits it as hard as just about anyone on the team.
Michael Martinez 0 for 1 today. 2 for 2 in the first game of the series. And he stepped up and chopped it to short.
And understand that particular play. No, usually you're trying to fake bunt and then you're going to slug it over their head. I mean, this is slapping it right to the shortstop. Rather take chances on you maybe hitting a double or getting in the scoring position.
And 2 the count to Hamels. A swing and a miss at a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, just a little bit late. He's had a good year in swinging the bat. Anytime a pitcher's hitting 200 better, you consider that pretty good for them.
Swing and a miss and a 1-2-3 fourth inning for Chatwood. So he's at 58 pitches through 4. We close out the 4th and go on to the 5th. Several game used collectibles, including Dominic Brown's complete retro night uniform, a Cole Hamels game thrown baseball, and a Chase Utley game used bat, and more. See Phillies Authentics auction on the homepage at Phillies.com.
There's some of those items. The helmet from the retro night. Go to the top of the fifth inning. Tyler Chatwood will lead it off, and he takes a strike. 0-1. He singled home one of the 2 runs for the Rockies. Back of the second. He gets another ball toward the right center field alleyway, and it's going to drop in for another hit.
Wow.
So a base runner to start the fifth. Now it's time for the Major League Notebook with Murph. Murph, take it away.
All right, thanks, T-Mac. Brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy College. And Dodger All-Star Matt Kemp is going to be out for a little while, probably till at least Tuesday. He got hurt colliding in the wall at Coors Field. He hurt his shoulder. Kemp said that he noticed that his power at the plate had been diminished a little bit by the injury. They all decided it was a good idea to sit him down for a little bit and see if he can't get 100% healthy. And just to put a bow tie on a story that finished up this weekend, something we've been talking about all season long, Steven Strasburg is officially shut down by the Washington Nationals. That after pitching 3 innings and allowing 5 runs in his start on Friday night. At that point, Davey Johnson, his manager, and Mike Rizzo, his general manager, said that is enough. They've seen enough. 159 and a third innings for Steven Strasburg. So he is finished for the year. Now it just remains to be seen whether or not the Nationals can survive and flourish in the postseason without him.
Well, they'll have John Lennon start for him for the rest of the season, and they'll go with 4 pitchers in the rotation. You see Strasburg's season numbers. Davey Johnson didn't like his approach the other night and said that he mentally checked out, that it was all starting to wear on him, so that's why they decided not to allow him to make 1 more start.
Yeah, he even went as far as saying that it was more of a mental thing on Friday night than it was a physical thing, but that they had seen enough. And Steven Strasburg didn't take the news all that well, as you can expect, Sarge. We've talked about this, and I can't understand how a player would accept that kind of thing, when a team is in the pennant race like the Washington Nationals are. But he obviously didn't take it very well, but said he's going to put his hands and his future in the hands of the doctors and go from there.
Yeah, well, I just felt that he should be able to make that decision there.
He make that decision on his own. He make his decision on his own.
Make the decision on his own, and I bet though, Murph, if he was a veteran player, I don't know if they would be able to get away with that.
Yeah, I don't think they probably would. And it seemed as though Steven Strasburg had very little input into all of this. Mike Rizzo and Davey Johnson making that decision. So, it may come back and bite them. They're a good baseball team, and they've got high aspirations this year. But, we've talked about it many times. You don't get a lot of chances to win in the National League and Major League Baseball, and they have a chance this year, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Well, you're right about that. I'm just wondering what they would do if that was maybe an everyday player that said, hey, mentally I've checked out and I'm a little physically tired. Can I get these 3 weeks off? I mean, you got to look at it both ways. I think they're opening up, a can of worms. Obviously, it's their decisions, but you can ask that Ernie Banks, and along with Ron, I was going to say Ron Santo, but the late Ron Santo, Billy Williams, that is never guaranteed that you're going to be into postseason play. And then when you're not in it, and those guys now, they always talk about what they would do, and they only had that one chance when they actually blew their lead way back when in 69, I believe it was.
Yep, 1969. 2-0 the count to Rutledge. He chops it to the right side. Utley will make the play at first. The pitcher Chatwood goes to third. He reached on the base hit, went to second on a wild pitch on a strikeout from Dexter Fowler. And now he's over at third for Carlos Gonzalez, who's 0 for 2. In fact, it happened when Murph was talking about Steven Strasburg. It was really good base running recognition by Chatwood to go to second. So now he's 90 feet away with 2 away.
Anytime you get it third, you can score on various different ways. Wild pitch in the air. Doesn't have to be a base hit.
Well, Cole has 2 wild pitches today. And he delivers low, 1-0 to Carlos Gonzalez. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. He tosses a changeup at him.
That's a real good pitch to a good hitter. Another one of those guys that you don't want to let them beat you. So that means that you're going to pitch probably a little bit tougher to him than you would most of the hitters. Almost trying a little bit too hard to make those pitches.
We check in what's going on up at Citi Field. It's a 1-1 ball game. Michael Bourne has an RBI for the Braves. Tommy Hanson in that ball game against Chris Young. Chipper Jones did not start today. Freddie Gonzalez said that he will use him as a pinch hitter in his final game up in New York. Back toward the middle, off the glove of Hamels, picks it out of the air, throws low, dug out by Howard, and the inning is over. So Hamels strands one over at third, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left here at the top of the 5th inning. Went off the heel of his glove, he found it, set himself, and was able to get the out. And the Rockies even at 2. Now let's see what they can do at the top of the order one more time against Tyler Chatwood, who will face Rollins, Scherholtz, and Chase Utley. Game 1 of a day-night doubleheader. On a beautiful sunshiny afternoon. It's supposed to be gorgeous again later on tonight when Tyler Cloyd makes his 2nd appearance here at the ballpark. He'll be opposed by Drew Pomerantz. And Rollins, who's 0 for 2, has struck out. He's also flied out to left. As we begin the inning, Chatwood is at 57 pitches. So the bullpen's still sitting out there for Colorado, but if he has a long inning, they're going to start to loosen up. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Rollins. There's that bullpen. 11 strong. Plus a coach, bullpen catcher. No chairs left out there.
I was going to say they probably had to add some cheers.
Well, as we mentioned before, what they do is they have their starters, and they do have 5 starters now, although they'll eventually go back to 4 next year. And then they have a couple of hybrid pitchers. Those are the guys that go 2 innings, and then they have 2 days off, and then they have the rest of the bullpen. Citizens Bank's visitors clubhouse has 41 players' lockers. The Rockies roster is 30. Wheels was wondering the other day if there were enough lockers.
Yeah, well, I can remember those days when you'd come up at the end and you'd actually have to either share lockers or you might have to go around in San Diego in the football side. So you wouldn't dress with everybody. That's a pretty good question.
Over to second base, Rollins is retired by LeMahieu. Yeah, there's one away. Now, did that happen to you, or that just others that happened to?
No, that happened to others.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to do that, but I mean, if you can imagine, you wouldn't really feel a part of the team if you're dressing, in the football locker. And those are mostly a lot of the pitchers that are coming up late. But being in the major leagues is what it's all about.
Did you ever have to share your locker with somebody?
Yes, absolutely. I've done that.
Do you get territorial? Does it bother you when you have to share it with somebody?
Sometimes, if they're a little bit messy or whatever. Shirt's not hung up the way it should be.
Scherholtz takes low. 2-0 the count.
Yeah, any time that you would go back to, say, for instance, Chicago, who didn't have a big locker room and still doesn't, a lot of times you'd have to share a locker.
3-0 the count to Scherholtz.
It's not too nice coming back and having somebody walking out with your shirt on. Or
you mean your uniform shirt or your shirt?
Regular shirt. Guys who play all kind of tricks on you. Take your shirt, take your shoes. Oh, boy.
Now, who would do that to you? Would it be somebody that you'd share the locker with, or just somebody else?
When you have that many guys, there were guys that would actually walk out of the locker room with just their spikes on, where their other shoes had been taken. Okay, or there's a lot of cruel jokes that, if you can imagine, at the end of the year, that you get played on you.
Can't imagine anybody would do that to you, Sarge.
No, imagine, driving up and down 95 today 3 or 4 times looking for some shirts.
Well, this was the shirt we were supposed to wear today.
Oh, boy, I tell you.
The Tommy Bahama.
Holy cow.
But as we found out at 7:45 this morning, Wheels didn't have his Tommy Bahama. But Sarge didn't get the message that we were switching to the red and white pinstripe.
Well, some of us leave early to go to our jobs. He didn't find out until 7:30. I was gone at 8. But I saw the look on your face when I actually got to the clubhouse, like, hey, did you get the memo? No, I sure didn't.
Well, just so everybody knows, one of those shirts that you saw being worn was Sarge's. We were just playing a joke on him.
Nice joke.
But Sarge had to leave to go back and get the red and white striped shirt. And he had a very busy morning trying to find that.
Oh, boy.
0-1 the count to Utley and a throw over to first.
Well,
as it turns out, Wheels did not have the Tommy Bahama. So our debate is to whether we should put another minus.
It's automatic.
Okay. So the standings need to be updated. Apparently.
There's no doubt. It's automatic.
0-1 the count to Chase Utley. He'll be over the Rockies dugout, so no balls and 2 strikes. I think at this point, though, Wheels, if we do add another one, has an insurmountable lead on the wrong shirts.
Well, let's face it. Kind of thought he would be the leader of not wearing the right shirts anyway. That's just the way it goes. He's still a good guy.
Doesn't make him a bad person.
Nope.
Into shallow left field. Rutledge, the shortstop, gives way to Gonzalez.
and he drops the ball. And they're going to say that he did have it, and it was in the exchange.
Yeah. Well, Gonzalez coming in and taking the ball. Anytime an outfielder can take the ball, that's what you want him to do. He's saying, I got it, I got it. You can see he starts to actually take it out, and it just dropped the ball, though, and that's after it was in the other hand.
The rule is for an outfielder that they have to take the ball out of the glove. If it drops before they do that, then it's a live ball. Howard has a 2-run double. His RBI totals up to 38. And he takes low. Ball one. 1 ball and no strikes.
Sure, that's one of those ones that Utley will look at. That seemed to be a pretty good pitch to be able to hit.
One ball, 1 strike to count to Howard. Chopper back toward the middle, and it's picked by the shortstop Rutledge. And the inning is over. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. 5 in the books in game 1 of this day-night doubleheader here in Philadelphia. Kicking it into gear as the dog days of summer wind down. Jimmy has had struggles at the plate all throughout the season, but his defense has been solid as usual. And number 11 continues to show how important his glove is behind Phillies pitching. In addition, his bat has started to productively connect as we head down the final stretch of the season. The newest member of the Phillies 2,000 hit club is what makes the Phillies go. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross, changing the game. Well, there is the Philly of the week, Jimmy Rollins, who earlier this week picked up career hit number 2,000. You saw it in those highlights, the chopper over the head of the first baseman. Today, Jimmy is 0 for 3. Phillies offense hasn't managed to hit since the 3rd. The Rockies will bat as we go to the 6th. They'll have Willeen Rosario, Andrew Brown, Chris Nelson due up against Cole Hamels. And the first pitch of the 6th inning. Over to left side. And Martinez backs up on it to throw out the Rockies catcher.
Right, makes those plays at third base easy. Reading the hops, has a good arm in throwing over to first base from third base. That ball has a lot of top spin. See how he reads that? Then he just sets himself. Has a good arm. Throws the ball right there to first base.
Helps Hamels too because he gets an out on one pitch. Andrew Brown 0 for 1. Walked his last time up. Rockies do have bullpen action. Adam Ottavino is warming up. And you figure he's going to be up next for the Rockies, and it will be in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike the count to Andrew Brown.
Now they also think with those 75 pitches that Rocky pitchers usually throw, then they're out of the game. That's supposed to make them concentrate a little bit more, they say, for them to throw strikes. I think it can work just the opposite, where you try so hard that you're not able to go out there and throw free and easy. You're always thinking about it. The end of the day, you're going to be out of there with 75 pitches.
Howard will go over and check this one out, but it's back about 5 rows. And it remains 2-2.
I don't know how it works, because they did say if you were throwing a no-hitter that they would actually allow you to go on and pitch.
Well, they've had 2 occasions this year that Jeff Francis has gone well past 75. But the one time was because the bullpen needed a break. Little foul ball. Remains 2-2. I don't know. I mean, their numbers are better. They are. Would I do it? Would you do it if you were a coach? No. But their numbers are better than they were before.
Yeah, well, I think the numbers for me have to reflect in wins and losses. If your wins are better, okay.
Swing and a miss, and a strikeout for Hamels on a curveball. 5 strikeouts for Cole.
Well, here's the pitch there that we're actually talking about. There's that curveball, which he is breaking out a little bit more. That's one heck of a weapon, I think, for him, especially when he hasn't shown it early.
Chris Nelson is 1 for 2. Nelson takes strike 1. Into the count. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1, 2, 3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all of your favorite sports all year long. 0-2 pitch. Inside, 1-2. Rollins backhands, flips over to first on one hop, and Howard is able to hang on to the ball.
Wow.
Ryan Howard ventured off the bag into the baseline, took the throw, took the hit, and then hung on to the baseball. Chris Nelson's much smaller in height than Ryan Howard, but he was moving with a head of steam up the first baseline. The final out is a dandy as the big man is able to hold on as he falls to the ground. He lost everything, the sunglasses, the hat, but he never lost the baseball. Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Acura. Acura Advance. Sarge, take us through this play.
Well, I got to tell you, he stuck right in the line there. First of all, just a nice jump throw from J-Ro. Hope it could have been a little bit over. That's a play where maybe someone would actually get hurt. But as you can see, no one gets hurt. Gets him out twice, and Howard decides to maybe smile just a little bit.
Well, we start the bottom of the sixth. Adam Ottavino is the new pitcher for the Rockies. And they've made a double switch. Tyler Colvin comes on to play right field. He'll bat ninth. And Ottavino will bat in the 5 hole.
I think you're more embarrassed on those plays than anything else just by being knocked down.
2-0 the count to Mayberry. It's hard to hold on to the ball when something like that happens, and he did. Ottavino 5-1, a 3.69 ERA. 2-0 the count. Mayberry's walked twice today.
Been getting a steady diet of those breaking pitches. But usually the pitchers will try and get ahead and then throw the breaking pitch as opposed to early in the count. Should be a fastball. See if he throws that same one, and John has seen so many pitches, should be able to have a good swing at it.
Oh, it's good movement on it.
Well, it sure did. And that's when any of the breaking pitches become a lot more effective. When you see that late break, and that's what fools the hitter. Late movement, especially when that ball is at you, and then it kind of just breaks away a little bit.
3-2 the count to Mayberry. It's that one sharply, but right at the shortstop Rutledge. Time now for our Coors Light Freeze Cap. What a difference 24 hours makes. Sun's so bright you got to wear shades today, Sarge. Even different kinds of shades. Carlos Ruiz, you like those, right?
Yeah.
How about those?
Oh,
I like
yeah.
the ones on the right. The ones on the left, that's more your style, Sarge, than mine. Coors Light Freeze Cap brought to you by Frostproof Coors Light. With one out, Dominic Brown is the hitter. Brown sends one in the air deep to right field. Going back is Colvin at the wall. Makes the catch right at the base of the wall. It didn't sound like he got it all.
Yeah, they kind of got in on him just a little bit. They're a little bit quicker. Ballpark won't be able to hold the ball. See exactly where that ball. See, that's a slider that comes in. He wasn't quick enough, but that's a good swing that he put on them. Just kind of missed that. And he knew that as it came in on him. And you're right, though, Tom. You can always tell by the sound.
I was surprised when it carried out toward the wall the way it did. Here's Sarah Kratz with 2 outs in the 6th. Kratz takes a fastball for strike 1. Kratz is 0 for 2. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
So you want to try and win that first game of the split doubleheader. Take pressure off of you.
I don't know, Sarge, the way it's going, I think the Phillies have to win both games of the day-night doubleheader.
You know what? To get where they want to do. I mean, you're right. They're going to have to do that.
Well, that's a 1-2-3 6th inning. Sarge, will see you in the top of the 4th inning in Game 2. The Phillies and the Rockies tied at 2 here.
Bit of a replay of Friday night. Phillies hope it ends up the same way. Fell behind 2-0. Came back to tie it up at 2 a little bit earlier in this one on Ryan Howard's 2-run double with really good base running by Chase Utley. Cole Hamels, you know, he hasn't been real sharp here today, but certainly good enough, and he certainly helped himself with some good defensive plays. And the Rockies, when you're at this point in the game, you expect to see at least 2 pitchers in the game, and that's where they are.
They've used Adam Ottavino to pitch the 6th inning. Now as we go to the top of the 7th, it'll be the bottom of the order. McBride, LeMahieu, and Tyler Colvin. Came out as part of a double switch. The ball is trickled over to 3rd. Hamels now has retired 7 straight since the single to start the 5th by Chatwood.
Trouble with a pitcher today. 2 hits. Kind of playing him deep in right center. Those balls are dropping in out there.
LeMahieu's 1 for 2. He singled and drove in a run in the 2nd. Grounded out to short his last time. He grounds to short again. Ball jumped in Rollins at the last moment, but he was able to recover easily. These lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They were each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Phillies have bullpen action behind Hamels. I think it's partly because he's due to lead off, or due to bat second in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, I think they're going to take a look at this inning, see if he had really overextended himself too, or got in trouble, so they're going to be ready just in case. But he's gotten quick out so far.
First 2 batters have helped.
Yeah. Right at, well, coming up on his 100th pitch of the game.
One ball, 1 strike to count to Colvin. A .289 hitter with 17 home runs. The last couple innings have been way better for Hamels. 26 in the 2nd. That's when they scored their 2 runs. He started to roll out the curveball a little bit more the last couple innings.
Yeah, that was a good one too. It really swept it around him. Fooled him and got him way out in front of him. Colvin's first at bat today off Cole.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Another curveball swung on and missed. A pretty easy 7th inning for Cole Hamels. He picks up his 6th strikeout of the day. A 1-2-3 innings. Retired 9 in a row. It's time to stretch here at Philadelphia. Rockies that have won the National League home run title at one point.
You sure is it time?
This is the time. I'm definitely sure it is.
Guesses from some of their great home run hitters. Larry Walker.
Larry Walker is correct. He did it in 1997 when he hit 49.
The Big Cat ever win it?
Andres Galarraga did it in 1996. Is that the answer or is that a question?
Yeah, that's Andres Galarraga. Yeah. So I got 2?
The Big Cat is Andres Galarraga.
Right, exactly.
Okay, I thought that was your third one.
No. Don't go there. All right, now I've got 2 of them, right?
You've got 2.
My third is Todd Helton.
Todd Helton, that's a good guess, Wheels. It is incorrect, though.
Vinny Castilla.
That is a good guess, too. It is incorrect.
Who was it? Bing.
Dante Bichette.
Right. Said they had a lot of potentials, right?
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack.
Caused a great Dallas Green snap one night. I remember Dante Bichette beat the Mets with a walk-off home run, and he had trouble with umpires. And it was a good one.
He was upset?
Oh,
I can't imagine Dallas getting upset.
Oh, yeah.
The great Dallas Green, who yesterday his Delaware Blue Hens defeated Delaware State as they began their football. I think they began their football season.
Second game.
Mr. Renee's nephew plays for
Renee's
Delaware.
nephew plays for Delaware. Brandon Heath is starting tackle for them, doing really well. He's a junior, redshirt junior, I believe. He's a good player. And that, of course, is a big university for Robert Ruliff Morgan Carpenter III. Ruley Carpenter, former owner of the Phillies, loves his Delaware Blue Hens.
Well, we start the bottom of the 7th inning. Ruley loves his Phillies, and they're tied at 2 here at the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, he does love the Phillies. We hear from him all the time. He loves to talk baseball.
It'll be Michael Martinez. Then Lance Nix is out in the on-deck circle. It's a pinch hit for Cole Hamels. It'd be nice to get Hamels a run here to go to the 8th inning.
Yeah, it would. And give him a shot at winning that 15th, that elusive 15th game again. Cole Hamels pitches so many games, and he seems he doesn't get decisions. Good games.
Inside, it's 2-1 to Martinez.
Sunday was a case in point. That game where he lost in Atlanta last week.
There's Nix, one of the heroes to Friday night's win.
I would like to see him take that pitch there. Maybe get on base. It looked like it was ball 4, a high fastball.
There's Bastardo warming in the pen. Martinez fouls it away to stay alive. It's 3-2. Swing and a miss. He goes after a breaking pitch. 4 in a row retired by Ottavino. Well, it's time now for our cold hard fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Well, here you go, Wheels. Cole Hamels is 23-8 in 42 career starts versus the West. And a run here, maybe pick up his 24th win. Cold hard fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Well, he's done a good job today. Gave up those 2 out runs to the bottom of the order. I think he thought he had a strikeout in that inning, and then he gave up the 2 hits late with 2 strikes on the 8-hole hitter too. And that's it. Look at that play, man. The ball deflected off his glove, and he didn't lose sight of it.
The one that Gonzalez hit.
Yeah, that was an amazing play.
Nix had a 2-run double as a pinch hitter Friday night. Overall, he has 3 homers and 16 runs batted in. Reminder, game 2 is coming up at 6:35 Eastern time. It is a separate ticket. In fact, Friday night's ticket is good for tonight's ball game. If you're interested in coming down, I'm sure there's some seats available for you to purchase.
Yeah, this will be one of those games you might get something pretty good.
0-2 the count to Nix. Outside, 1-2. Liner down the right field line. It's a fair ball heading to the corner. And Nix is on his way to second. Colvin has a good arm, and his throw is late.
He hurt them hitting a fastball the other night. That looked like a breaking ball down and in, and he kept it fair somehow. There are 2 doubles for Lance in this series. Yeah, breaking ball down. You see the catcher, Rosario, was sliding in. I think they're trying to throw a back foot slider there, and he got too much of the plate. That's a tough pitch to keep fair.
Well, now the Phillies have a runner in scoring position. They're 1 for 4 with a runner in scoring position so far today. They had their missed opportunities in Friday night's ball game. And then eventually they were able to cash in. Let's see if they can cash in here in a 2-2 game. Rollins is 0 for 3. As deep as the outfielders are for the Rockies, a base hit should give the Phils the lead. Fastball in there for a strike.
Nix, for a big guy, runs very well. Had that calf problem, so that really set him back for a period of time this year. But he is not alive. He is a guy you can score from second base on a base hit, and don't think about putting up the stop right away as you do with many runners.
Down the left field line, slicing out of play.
Now, that doesn't mean that if Juan Salmo has a bullet hit right at somebody and Nix is just getting to third, he's not going to run him into trouble because there's only 1 out. But any kind of a normal type of base hit, you can score a guy like Nix.
A bloop into foul territory. Nelson, the third baseman, is over. there, 2 outs. An update on the Major League scoreboard. The Yankees lead the Orioles 5-3 in the bottom of the 4th. How about the way that game ended yesterday? My, oh my, the Yankees thought they might have the tying run across the plate. Mark Teixeira wound up hitting into a double play. For some reason, he slid into first base. Not sure why he did that, but Jerry Meals called him out. Replays showed he was, well, clearly safe. And the Yankees lost to the Orioles.
He runs through the bag. He'd probably been no doubt he would have been safe.
Totally agree with that. 2 outs now for Schierholtz. Colorado does have Rex Brothers throwing in the bullpen, a lefty, but they decide to stay with the righty Ottavino.
Figuring that Charlie Manuel may hit for Schierholtz if they would bring him in, but they would not hit for Utley. We got to that point. This guy's really getting in the kitchens. Schierholtz checking his bat down there. He really just jammed Jimmy Rollins. Two outs now. You have a real good chance to score off on the crack of the bat.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Schierholtz. Stays alive, hits it into the Phillies dugout.
And he tried that back foot breaking ball again. And that time he got a way in where you're either going to swing and miss at it or foul it. A lot of thudding going on down there right now. This guy has a good fastball. He's around 95, 96.
Folks half hit him though. His ERA is 3.6.
Oh yeah. He looked like you can hit him if he makes a mistake. He gets it in on the hands. It's tough, it looks like.
I get the 0-2 pitch in the dirt. And Rosario blocks it.
And that time they went backdoor breaking ball to try and get an out.
Down the left field line, it'll slice out of play, and it remains 1-2. That's a hefty number of pitches in this at bat. Nice gesture by that gentleman. So his Fanatic T-shirt, his Fanatic hat. He dropped the ball, and the gentleman gave it back to him.
Don't throw it. Nope, not going to throw it. Good job by Nate to get back to even in the count now. Better hitters count.
Well, he was the hero Friday night with his pinch hit single. Let's see if he could be the hero again today to give the Phils the lead. Down the left field line, slicing foul. That would have done it.
Oh yeah. You know, one of those parachutes that make it real easy to take the lead.
Now don't forget, the Atlanta Braves will be in town one more time during the regular season. Friday, September 21st. The Phils will honor Chipper Jones prior to the start of that ball game. If you have tickets for that night's game, then a 4:05 start on Saturday. Sunday's a 1:35 start. The Total Cole Hamels action figurine will be given out. Low ball 3, 3-2 to Shearholtz.
You have to figure this is this guy's last hitter, so that doesn't mean they're going to challenge Shearholtz here, because they'll bring the left-hander in to pitch the outlet.
This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat.
So he could throw breaking ball. There's Brothers ready to come in. He could throw breaking ball here or fastball out of the zone to see if he'll chase.
He does throw breaking ball, backhanded by McBride. He hit that ball right on the nose. 3 unassisted, and we'll go to the 8th inning. Still tied at 2, the Rockies and the Phillies. HD triple play provider of your Phillies. Buy WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And buy Nissan. Visit choosenissan.com or your local Nissan dealer. It's a 2-2 game. The Phillies tied the ball game up with 2 in the bottom of the 3rd on a 2-run double by Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard now has 29 RBIs in his last 29 games here at Citizens Bank Park. And now the Phillies will turn the game over to Antonio Bastardo, who's 2-4 with a 4.74 earned run average. They'll pick up for Cole Hamels. Felipe Almont is warming in the bullpen too, in case the Phillies need a right-hander at some point. There's Almont. He got some of his best stuff on Friday night. Really his best stuff, not some of it, but it was his best stuff that we've seen since he put a Phillies uniform. Crystal clear afternoon. Center City. Carry over to a night game. Begins at 6:30. You don't need your ticket anymore, so you might as well use it to cover your head. So top of the order is up for the Rockies. Dexter Fowler is 0 for 3.
Okay, you really want to keep off base because he can steal.
Throws a fastball by him. It's 0-1. Martinez, the third baseman, is in because Fowler can bunt. He's over toward the line.
Yeah, and they even have Ryan Howard towards the line at first, as you see, because Fowler hitting one down the line is a possibility. Plus, he's a base stealer.
He breaks his bat, floats one into left. It'll be a base hit. Brown's got to get to it quickly. Fowler thought about second. So it's a leadoff single. Well, you heard the crack of the bat.
He broke it.
He has stolen 12 bases. He's been caught 4 times. And again, Kratz has been very good throwing runners out, trying to steal. Think Rutledge will try to bunt here?
No, I think it would be absolutely. They have to look for it because even though they'd rather Fowler steal second base, they may bunt early and try and get that winning run to second. Now you're going to walk Gonzalez after that. Well, maybe
they
not.
won't have a bunt then.
Or they would think, well, maybe they'll let Gonzalez hit because it'd be a left. So it's not cut and dried. Here's Jim Tracy. He's not cut and dried that if they bunt him over, the Phillies will walk Gonzalez.
He didn't show bunt. Fowler was going back as the pitch came in.
And so he could be thinking right now, I don't want to take the bat out of Gonzalez's hands. He is not real quick to the plate.
Fowler was going back again as he fouls that ball off. It's 1-1.
Whatever he did there fooled Fowler.
Rutledge has struck out twice. He is grounded out to second. So hitless in 3 at bats. Well, there is Carlos Gonzalez, the on-deck hitter.
I think they would have walked him. Because we talk about all the time, you don't want Gonzalez to beat you.
And they bring Almonte in to face Rosario.
Right.
Pitcher spot is up after Rosario. There goes the runner. And the ball's hit foul, fortunately for the Phillies, because Fowler had a really good jump.
Yeah, you see Rutledge's reaction right now. I don't know that that was even a strike he swung at. And as you said, Tom, Fowler steals second here. And he's going to walk into second base. Fowler swings and fouls it off. Or Rutledge swings, fouls it off. Pitch looked like it was inside. Young players, young team. Those are veteran players. They see that. They'll take a pitch there if it's not a strike.
Now it's 1-2. Another ground ball foul. A nice play. He technically stayed in the stands.
Yeah, he did all right. Made good hang time there. But he's pulling back.
I think he may have kicked his son in the head.
Yeah, but he got the ball.
1-2 the count.
Kid saying, hey, man, was that ball worth it?
1-2 to Rutledge and a throw over to first. Dust him off, give him the baseball. Everything's fine. It'll be okay.
Scared him a little bit, probably.
That's probably what it was.
You know me, I know this all the stuff about kids. I'll help you with it. Sarge would have liked that.
He would have loved it. I wasn't sure if he had any intention in throwing that.
Well, that's one of the problems that he's had this year. When he gets men on base, he just slows the game up to a crawl. I think he gets his defensive players back on their heels. It's just not a good tempo. And Rich Doobie knows that. They've tried to work on it with him.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Swing and a miss. He got it with a high fastball. And Fowler's still locked over at first.
So it's all working. That time he went back and he got him to chase a high fastball. So maybe he's making the opposition antsy too. Watch Rutledge chase a pitch way out of the zone and strike out.
Kratz is over to talk to Bastardo. Martinez comes in too. You have the lefty Gonzalez up and then Willeen Rosario on deck. I'm sure that'll be all Monsky.
Right. It's Rosario, the on deck hitter, and there's Oman, as Tom said, warming up. Just don't want to give Gonzalez something early in the count to hit because he's going to be aggressive here off a left-hander, trying to get a fastball early.
Gonzalez is 0 for 3 today. Hamels handled him nicely. So much so he tried to bunt his first time on. And the first pitch down, 1 ball and no strikes.
Does get a lot of strikeouts. Starting to get some shadows now here late in the year. Sun really bright all of a sudden.
Fouls it away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Light tower starting to show down the third baseline. There they are.
Might affect the start of game 2. Maybe just a little bit. Maybe not. Not
yeah,
today.
Probably not. More so.
Not today.
More so late in this game.
1-1 the count now to Gonzalez.
Here he goes again.
I'm surprised Gonzalez didn't ask for time
He
before
did
that.
finally, yeah. You know, he freezes. He's got Fowler frozen over there for the most part. But there's a point where, you know, throw the thing.
Well, there are pitchers that use that to their advantage. I mean, Jamie Moyer did that.
Well, that's what I was saying. Maybe with Rutledge, he frustrated him and got him to chase.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Gonzalez. Ristardo's ready. Swing and a miss. He gets him with a slider. It's 1-2.
It was a good pitch. And they've really got Fowler frustrated over there right now. He just went back again. I think they think if they just throw over there enough, they've got him with a one-way lead. Or maybe if they throw over, he'll leave early. Kratz looks in the dugout to see from Pete McCannon if they want to give a throw over. Okay, another breaking ball away.
Tampa Bay is shutting out Texas 6-0. That game's in the top of the 7th inning. Tampa 2 games out of the National League East behind the Yankees and the Orioles. 2-2 the count. Outside 3-2.
Kind of going back again.
PJ Upton, sorry, Wills, had 3 home runs so far in that game.
Wow. Now they have to make a decision whether they run or not.
Jim Tracy's the guy that's making the decision as Fowler leads off first. He doesn't go. Swing and a miss. He got him. A 3-2 fastball, and Carlos Gonzalez is rung up for the second out. And here comes Charlie Manuel. So Bastardo is done, and with Willeen Rosario coming up, Charlie's going to go to the pen. This is a good pitch.
Well, he stayed after him with breaking balls for the most part and then gets him fastball away. It took a while, but he got it done.
Yep, Bastardo gets 2 outs. He allows a leadoff single, but now he'll turn it over to Philippe Almont. It's an AT&T call to the bullpen. It's a 2-2 game here at the top of the 8th inning between the Phils and the Rockies. 3 games against the Nats this year here at Citizens Bank Park during the regular season. Tuesday the 25th is the Goya Latino Family Celebration. Thursday the 27th of September is Fan Appreciation Night. Order your tickets at Phillies.com. Wheels, 2 outs, runner at first, 2-2 game. And now Felipe Alman is going to try to carry over what he did on Friday night into today's ball game. And
Glenn Allen Hill with long talk right now with Dexter Fowler down at first base as you look at the numbers on Alman. And this is about what they know about him. They saw him the other night, his times, and if there's ever a time to try and steal, it's now with 2 outs and late in the game on the road to trying to get in the scoring position. There's Glenn Allen Hill, was a heck of a player, and he could, big guy, he could fly.
Probably could knock you over too if you give him a chance.
He looked like a tailback when he played. The way he could run and as big as he was.
Well, so Fowler takes his lead off first. Almont throws over to first.
Right, and the Phillies, of course, are thinking the same thing down there on the bench. Is Pete Mackanin controlling the running game, that they may just take off on first move. And there he just gave signs again to Eric Kratz to relay to Almont, whether it's step off, throw over. They're not going to pitch out, I wouldn't think.
He started and stopped. The pitch is a strike, according to the first base umpire, Mike McClinsky.
Nasty breaking ball. You talk about pulling off.
I should say Toby Bassner.
Right.
I think McClinsky's going to ump the plate. No, he's going to ump third in the second game. Sam Holbrook should ump the plate if the rotation stays right from Friday night. 0-1 the count.
They did pitch him. Yeah. I didn't think they would do that too much with a young guy, but they got ahead, so Pete decided to pitch out there, thinking he may run. Now there are the signs right there. They may mean something. They may mean nothing.
There he goes. Over to third. A big hop for Michael Martinez. The inning is over. Good job by Bastardo and Felipe Almont to get the Phillies through the 8th inning. Middle of the 8th, it's a 2-2 game. We'll be back with Chase Utley after this. John Clark and Mike Missinelli, plus reaction from the clubhouse with Marty Bystrom as the Phils try to close the gap on the wild card race. Next on the Phillies postgame show, live from Sugar House Casino. Bottom of the 8th inning, and Rex Brothers is the new pitcher for the Colorado Rockies. Brothers will take over for Ottavino, who went 2 innings, struck out 2. And now Brothers 8-2. Look at all the decisions he's had over the pen. In 63 games, a 4.13 ERA. Lefties are hitting .209 against him, and he's on to face Utley and Howard. And we'll see what they do after that.
Yeah, lefties kind of lined up in this inning for him. Howard, Ryan followed by John Mayberry Jr., but then Dominic Brown in the other spot.
Rockies scored 2 in there, half of the second. The Phillies tied it with 2 at the bottom of the third. And now we're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jonathan Papelbon was walking around in the Phillies bullpen. And I think he's going to start loosening.
Yeah, the worst he can come into is a tie game now. The best thing would be if he could come into a save situation, they could get a run.
Well, there he is. Cole Hamels started. He was very good today through 7, but will not fare in the decision.
Omar came in, got the right-handed hitter out to get it to this point.
Utley takes on the inside corner. That looked like a quick slider from left-hander brothers. From St. Louis, it's now 4-2 Cardinals. Corey Hart has a double and a couple of runs scored for the Brewers. Inside, 1-1 to Utley. Chase has singled and scored today. He's 1 for 3. A liner to right center field. Colvin got a pretty good jump. And 1 out.
Right on the nose.
Howard has the 2 RBIs today. 29 ribbies in his last 32 games overall.
Hey, I'd love to get another one here. No right-hander up. And they certainly have a lot of options.
They do.
From the right side.
You figure that Torres is probably not available after Friday night's game, but everybody else should be. 1-0 pitch. Outside and low, 2-0. Won the count.
Said it was on the outside corner. Even the one there, anything Ryan Howard's going to do with that 2-0. You have to be looking middle of the plate in 2-0 ahead in the count like that.
And now it's evened up 2 balls and 2 strikes as Howard fouls that one over the tarp down the left field line. Game 2 coming up at 6:30 tonight. Tyler Cloyd, Drew Pomeranz are the scheduled pitchers for the ball game. Cloyd getting set for his 2nd start here at Citizens Bank Park, his 3rd overall. Love to do it on the heels of a victory. Howard fights it off. It remains 2-2. Now the little guy is back. He's got his ball. Everything's fine. As Wheel said, he probably just got a little scared.
A little scared.
Grounded to second. And there are 2 outs here in the 8th inning. And they'll stay with the left-hander with John Mayberry coming up. Mayberry's grounded out to short and he's walked twice.
They're going to play guard the line at third, of course, with Mayberry, pull hitter that he is, and way back in the outfield for nothing over their heads.
something over their heads, might be out of the ballpark.
Right. So that's why you do that, and trying to make a couple hits beat you in this spot. Take your chances on a ball in front of the outfielders.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Mayberry. And it's 1-2. This is 1 inning, and that's it for Brothers, because he's due to lead off the top of the 9th inning.
Well, he wanted him in here to face, for sure, to face Utley and Howard, and then if they get to Brown, to have him available.
Papelbon thrown in the pen.
Phillies have Juan Pierre available off the bench today too. In a close game, he really can come into play. It's tougher to get closer than being tied.
If Mayberry gets on, would they pinch hit Wigginton for Dominic Brown?
That's a good question. Because then you can put Pierre in the game, but I don't really want to put him in the game like that. He'd rather have him lead off or get him out there where he could steal a bag or something. Talked earlier, he's really limited right-handed right now.
He could use Ruiz to pinch hit.
Sure.
Here's Dominic.
They're trying to develop this guy into an everyday player, Dominic Brown. So
outside, ball 4. Well, we'll see.
Yep.
3rd walk of the day for Mayberry. Dominic Brown will hit here in the 8th inning. So he'll get a chance to swing against the left-hander.
You hit for him there. You really don't have a true outfielder to put out there.
Well, Pierre,
but they don't want to use him, and that's what I'm saying. They don't want to use him for defense in a close game.
Outside with the first pitch to Brown. 1-0 the count. Pete McCannon's walking around the dugout.
If you knew that right-handed hitter was going to come up and give you the lead, it'd be a beautiful thing, wouldn't it? And you can save Pierre for defense in the 9th.
That drops in for a strike. 1-1 the count.
You're going to pitch him away, play him away. Big gap in right center field. Right fielder Colvin way back. All this out in here, and he's way back there.
Line drive, base hit to left field. He slaps it the other way, and the Phillies have 2 on with 2 outs. Now you have the right-hander coming up in Kratz.
Right. And a good runner in second. Now they'll bring their outfield into a normal defense because they have the runner at second. Still no right-hander up in the bullpen.
Figure they have Belisle.
Yeah.
Renicky, they're trying to limit his innings as the season winds down.
Well, that's a good point right there what you're making, because who knows how many of these guys are really available right now that they have in the card. There is Wigginton, Philly's main bat off the bench from the right side.
Kratz is hitless in 3 at-bats. A fielder's choice, a liner to left, a strikeout looking. The runner's on first and second. And that ball goes right through the 5-hole. Mayberry didn't realize it. The throw is late anyway. Wow. Whew. That was really close.
Yeah. Once you're that late going, you may as well stay there because you're in scoring position. He's really lucky he got there. That thing came, whatever it hit back there, it came straight back. It must have hit the bricks. Right through the 5-hole, hit the bricks. Here it comes back. Hesitated a little bit throwing to third. See, Mayberry was going back. At that point, stay there. But now, nice goal.
Well, Brown was on his way to second. Brown read it definitively. 1-0 the count now to Kratz with first base open. That ball was in the dirt too.
Oof. Boy, he is really struggling. They call that wild pitch pass ball.
Pass ball.
which I think was a good call, because even though it was low, as McLaughlin's going to go out and talk to Rex Brothers, I think for a major league catcher, you got to catch that ball.
Couldn't tell if it hit the ground. If it hits the ground, they always call it a wild pitch.
Probably tell him that you have a decision here. You can pitch to Kratz or pitch to Martinez.
Yeah, that base running snafu, it's almost turned into a base running problem.
It did hit the ground.
That should be a wild pitch. Because you said now Brown's already starting to go to second, thinking Mayberry's going to third, but as a base runner, you have to make sure the guy goes. Because then you force the issue. If two of you want to be in the same place at the same time, they got away with it.
Two and 0 the count. Kratz's numbers after the 7th were in the bottom of the 8th.
Makes me think about Vuk.
I always do.
Bricks.
Yeah.
I don't care how good they look and how nice they look. You ought to coach third. You don't know what the ball's going to do. Oh, and all the new parks have that. Of course, Wrigley does.
I think it was Pittsburgh that I heard that rant the first time. 3-0 the count to Kratz. Ball 4.
Well, they decide not to let Kratz beat him once that base opened up.
They're going to call Martinez back, and Ty Wigginton will pinch hit.
Likes to swing early when he pitch hits.
Wigginton has really good numbers against his former team. This is the team the Phillies acquired Ty from.
See if he can get a fastball here and do some damage, get a lead.
They finally do have a right-hander throwing in the pen for the Rockies. Papelbon is stretching in the pen for the Phillies. That's Egmer Escalona. That's warming for the Rockies. Papelbon just standing on the hill right now. Phillies have Mayberry at third, Brown at second, and Kratz at first. Get a base hit here, maybe get a couple. Get a little breathing room going into the top of the 9th inning. But one would suffice.
Oh, yeah.
Franzen is out of the on-deck circle.
Wild pitch would be fine.
And the pitch to Wigginton. Gets, oh boy, nice play by Rosario.
It's almost there. Really, Mayberry has to get a good walking. That sums it up. That's a great shot. Good play. Rosario, he's good and bad back there, but that's an unbelievable play he made on that breaking ball.
17 pass balls this year, 12 errors.
And they know how Wigginton wants to swing first pitch in that spot, so they threw breaking ball to him.
1-0 the count to Wigginton. The pitch from Brothers. Low, ball 2.
See John Mayberry coming down the third baseline. You wait forward when the pitch is thrown, looking out towards right field. A good walking lead. When the ball gets away, you have a heck of a chance to score.
Phillies have the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's a 2-2 game. The count 2-0 to Ty Wigginton. He got a fastball in a good spot.
The guy just beat him with it.
Wigginton waits for the 2-1. Fouls it away. It's 2-2. Charlie Manuel decides to have Wigginton back for Michael Martinez. Jim Tracy, well, a lot of times this year all he can do is hold his breath.
Especially these balls in the dirt in this inning.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fly ball, shallow center field. And it'll be playable for Dexter Fowler. And the Phillies will leave him loaded here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So they had an opportunity to take the lead, but the Rockies were able to get themselves out of it. We go to the 9th inning, tied at 2.
play third base for the Phillies or is part of a double switch for Charlie Manuel. Jonathan Papelbon is the other part of that double switch. So Orr will bat ninth, and the pitcher's spot will be the 8-hole. As we go to the top of the ninth in a 2-2 game, Papelbon 4-6, a 2.61 earned run average. He's going to face a pinch hitter. It's Jason Giambi. And then Chris Nelson and Matt McBride. Those are the scheduled hitters. Meanwhile, for the Rockies, they have Matt Bilal getting up and throwing in the pen. So the veteran Giambi, who walked in Friday night's ball game against Jonathan Papelbon in the 9th inning, but then was pinch run for by Andrew Brown. Brown was then thrown out trying to steal. There's Bilal. Again, game 2 is scheduled to begin at 6:30 tonight. Game 2 between the Rockies and the Phillies. It is a separate ticket, so we'll have to clear out the ballpark, clean it up a little bit, and then open up the gates for the second game. Giambi against Papelbon. He does have a home run. He has struck out 6 times. One of his 3 walks came the other night. He walked at a couple of close pitches, too.
That's what he does. He fouls off a lot of pitches.
Takes just below the knees, 1-0.
Rarely swings at anything out of the zone.
They appeal. No swing, says Rob Drake. I think Papelbon just realized that they didn't call that a swing. 2-0 the count.
Giambi's amazing. You know, they're not strikes, but they're pitches guys do chase, but not Giambi. That's why he's been so good throughout his career.
And he was taken all the way there. It's 3-1.
If they give him a green light, he's going to cut the plate in half and not swing at that pitch.
Nelson's on deck. Down low, ball forward. For the second time of the series, he walks to lead off an inning.
Got away with it the other night on a hit and run that they swung through and Kratz threw the guy out at second. Now they'll run for Giambi. See who it's going to be today.
It's Blackman who will come on to run. So Giambi works out the walk. Nelson will probably be up there to try to sacrifice him up to second. Nelson's 1 for 3. He's grounded out twice. He singled and scored.
You're gonna have to,
first at bat.
You have to look. You have to look for it, but you're putting it then on a really inexperienced guy on deck if you bunt here.
Nope, he's going to swing away. He takes inside, 1-0.
A lot of times bunt situations, you may think it, and you have to play for it, but then you look and see who's in the on deck circle, and who you're going to put it on, and who's at home plate. And the manager will sometimes say, you know, I'm going to let the guy swing away, take a chance.
And he bunts it toward first. It's a foul ball.
So the light flash in front of his face then. Talk about self-defense. Now Tracy just, whoa, that's coming right at his face. Puts a bat in front of it. Nelson's on the ground. Well, the good news is I'm alive. Now let me see if the ball's foul and everything will be okay. Be better if it was fair though, because he'd bunted him over. going to do it again.
Two and one the count now to Nelson. It really must have been up a little bit.
And they really may take it off now that he's ahead in the count.
He's standing up in the box. And he squares. And he takes high. 3-1. On deck is Matt McBride.
Long look now by Nelson, because this is where they'll go, all right, he's going to get a fastball to hit now because you don't want to walk him while he's up there to bunt, and maybe he'll drive it somewhere. We can have the lead.
And he bunts it toward first. Well, he gets it down. And it's a sacrifice. 1-4.
Yeah, they were committed to the bunt with that guy. I really thought they were going to let him swing away at some point.
Well, McBride is due up, but they've called him back. And they're going to have Pacheco come up and pinch hit for him.
Another right-handed hitter, but more experienced. So that's why they bunted.
Pacheco, who started game one over at first base, and will be in the lineup, you would think, in game number 2. He's a former catcher who's been playing a lot of third base, playing some first base too. So Jordan Pacheco, a .300 hitter. He has the highest average among rookies in the National League. And he's got a runner at second with one man down here in the 9th inning. DJ LeMahieu's on deck. Papelbon struggled a little bit with his command of this inning. 7 balls, 3 strikes. And the first pitch going to Pacheco. Fouls it away. 0-1.
This guy's been hot. Swinging the bat great for them. Had a good swing at that.
Pacheco with 118 hits. He was hitless in 4 at-bats in game 1. And you see the Rockies leading hitter with a .365 average with runners in scoring position.
And another reason why Jim Tracy bunted that runner over right there, because he had him on the bench and he's been knocking in runs for him.
Up high, 1-1. Papelbon is not pleased by a couple of these pitches that have been called balls.
Well, Kratz senses that too, so he's going to go out and talk to him.
Eddie Fletcher, the home plate umpire. He's kind of heard it from both sides.
Throwing through that shadow right now too, which can be an advantage for the pitcher.
I'm surprised he's letting him have this long a conversation out there. It's a long conversation.
It is.
Little extra cheer from the crowd. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Pacheco.
He came inside that time, really froze Pacheco is what it did, because everything been away. Maybe that was what the conversation was. He wanted to change location.
With a runner at second base in a 2-2 game, here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got it. He didn't throw his fastball. He threw his split. Well, there's the first strikeout for Papelbon.
It was a good one, too. Watch a late dive on this. Hitter thinks it's a fastball, swings at a fastball. Probably about a 1.5 foot difference from where the guy starts to swing to where the baseball winds up.
Well, now he needs 1 more out to get through this 9th inning.
Love it when they turn around and say the strike. Yeah, you swung at it.
DJ LeMahieu had an RBI single in the 2nd inning for the Rockies.
I think that may have been a called strike, too.
I think it was, too. The pitch from Papelbon fouled away. It's 0-1.
Really cheating in with their outfielders, except on the pull side with Brown. He's the deepest. Pretty good arms in that outfield.
It's a foul ball and it's 0-2. So now 1 more strike to take us to the bottom of the 9th inning. Same spot the Phillies won the game on Friday. After Papelbon walked Giambi on Friday, he got a caught stealing to help him through the inning. Now he's trying to get the last hitter to help him to the bottom of the 9th.
Just like when Cole made a mistake 0-2 with this guy early, you do not have to throw a ball in the strike zone now. Shadows, 0-2, pressure with a runner in scoring position. He'll chase.
0-2 the count, the pitch. LeMahieu's fouled 3 pitches off now in this at bat.
Everything's high too, where they may decide to throw that split down, try it down there.
Phillies will have Orr, then the top of the order in the bottom of the 9th, trying to get there. The 0-2 pitch coming to LeMahieu. Outside, 1-2. To right field. Scherholtz is there, and the inning is over. Tough play with the sun. Scherholtz was able to battle, make the catch. Rockies lead one in scoring position. We lead for the bottom of the 9th inning, where the Phillies will have Pete Orr due to lead it off. Friday night when Nate Scherholtz was able to come through with a game-winning hit off this breaking pitch. He's able to bring home Jimmy Rollins with the go-ahead run. The Phillies won it in the bottom of the ninth inning. It's their 10th walk-off win of the season. And Murph, it was kind of interesting to think about all the different guys that helped out with these walk-off wins.
Yeah, you're right, Tom. Everybody really kind of getting in on the action throughout the season. You know, you remember back the first walk-off win was Hunter Pence's walk-off home run back on May 15th. But then after that, just 8 different guys, you know, getting in on the action. We remember Placido Polanco with the arrow to Todd Helton. Tomey had a walk-off home run. Jimmy Rollins is the only guy on the list that has done it twice. So 10 walk-off wins for the Phillies and 9 different guys making it happen. So maybe we'll see one of those guys do it again here tonight, or maybe someone new steps up to the plate. Regardless, get it done here in the bottom of the ninth, right?
All right, yeah, we can. Matt Belisle is the new pitcher for the Rockies. Pacheco's in at first. Pete Orr is the batter, and the first pitch is a strike. There's Pacheco, who came on as a pinch hitter, now stays in the game to play first.
Oh, another game coming up. Other than Rockies or Rockies fans, there's a lot of people around here that would like to see this end here in the bottom of the ninth.
Sure. Orr reached on an infield single, his only time up in this series. Fouls it away. It's 1-2.
He did a heck of a job beating that ball out to short.
He said he can only do that one time in a series because now they'll know that he can run.
Right. And remember we said that the other night, is he probably had an inexperienced shortstop out there that didn't have any idea how fast he is, and he beat the play.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. It's in the dirt. Rosario throws him out. So Belisle has the first out. Jimmy Rollins is coming up. Rollins is 0 for 4 today.
He's not had a good day swinging the bat, so this would be a good time to have 4 mediocre plate appearances and then just do something big here. One of the many great things about this game, the redeeming factor. They could, you know, play the third baseman Nelson way up, even though Jimmy doesn't bunt very often. It'd be hard to see right now.
Well, it's no balls and 2 strikes down to Rollins. Outside, 1-2.
Yeah, it comes out of the sunshine, through the ball, comes through the shadows, and then right through the sun again at the end.
Jeremy Horst is warming in the bullpen for the Phillies, so it looks like he's going to pitch the 10th inning if there is a 10th. There's Jeremy.
Yeah, they lost a guy who's really done a good job for them this year, and that's Raul Valdez. Take away that game he started that night, he's really been effective. He had one game in New York, too, that struggled in that game. Other than that, he pitched a couple innings for him several times.
Surgery to repair a torn meniscus for Valdez.
Very quietly was one of those contributors.
Very quiet.
Yeah,
he's quiet as a person.
He doesn't say anything. He just goes out and gets the job done.
Outside for ball 2. It's 2-2 now to Rollins.
He's a guy that you would think the Phillies would, you know, try to keep and bring him to camp next year.
Belisle's ready. Here's the pitch. Line drive, base hit to center field for Rollins. So he's aboard for Scherholtz.
Belisle's times are pretty good too with a slide step, so not an easy guy to run on. But you have a hole on the right side for a left-handed hitter.
Scherholtz is 0 for 3 today. He walked in his 3rd at bat.
Some guy just yelled wild pitch. Why not, with the way they've been bouncing around out there today? Whoops.
Oh, there you go. It's a pass ball. It's off his glove, and Rollins goes to second.
Well, this guy has a lot of trouble catching balls for some reason.
Well, and I said pass ball because that ball, I don't think it hit the dirt.
No, that was a pass ball.
So that's the third pass ball of the day.
Yeah, one should have been a wild pitch, but this is very catchable. Just, I don't think that one hit the dirt.
It didn't. I mean, it did after it hit his glove.
Yeah.
So now a base hit, and the Phillies should win the game again. They're 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position with 9 runners left on base. 1-0 the count. And there's a strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
He turns to the side a little bit sometimes when he catches balls like he's getting ready to throw or something.
Or he doesn't see it.
I don't know what it is.
Reactions are late.
Wearing the sunglasses right now. I said it's tough to see for everybody down there.
Broke his bat, and Belisle's got Rollins caught between second and third. Scherholtz is on his way to second. So he's now in scoring position, and there are 2 outs.
No, they did a good job. Jimmy read that ball. It was going to get past the pitcher. Then he did a good job of staying in the rundown long enough to at least let Scherholtz replace him. At first, it looked like a really bad mistake because you were going to lose your runner in scoring position. Here it is. You have to let the ball get by the pitcher, who makes a heck of a play. But now they don't do a very good job with this rundown. See Jimmy Rollins motioning to Scherholtz, hey, let's get down to second. He sees him get there. Then he tags him.
Well, now Jim Tracy's coming out to the mound. And they're going to try to decide what they want to do with Chase Utley. Do they want to walk him and face Howard? Or they want to go right after him? There's nobody warming up to the bullpen for the Rockies. Belisle has given up 4 hits to Utley in his career.
And the reason the game's tied way back in the 3rd inning, Ryan Howard doubles the right center field. Chase Utley with 2 outs is running really hard after Ryan hits that breaking ball to right center. See him coming around second. Right fielder Brown had to go hard to his right. Then the relay throw is late to the plate. And that's why the game is tied. And that's how WB Mason delivery of the play of the game. They're going to pick their poison, and it's going to be Ryan Howard.
Howard's got 2 RBIs today. And he's on deck.
That's a pride thing, too. You see that. And really, they don't even have to pitch to Howard if they don't want to. They got a veteran guy out there in Belisle who, even if the bases are loaded, then he goes right.
But you've got a catcher who has 3 pass balls.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? That's right. And that shouldn't even come into the equation. But it
does.
In this case, it probably does. Because normally, you just say, all right, I'm not going to let this guy beat me because I got a veteran out there who I don't think will walk in the winning run. But then again, your guy has to catch the ball behind the plate.
Howard is 1 for 4 today. He's grounded out 3 times, but he's also doubled home 2. Riders will be going on the crack of the bat. It's a 2-2 game here in the 9th. And Howard takes strike 1.
Most teams, they're going to play him way over with the left, with the center fielder. Play the right fielder in the way over also and give him the line, because Ryan rarely pulls the ball down the line.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Gets through the hole again.
Amazing.
Scherholtz goes to third. Utley up to second. Wow.
Never seen anything like this.
I don't know how they'll score that one. I mean, I don't know if it hit the dirt or not. To me, it didn't look like it. Well, maybe it did. It did not hit the dirt. He should have caught it.
Absolutely should have caught it.
All right, we got to look for the record for pass balls in the game.
And normally it's going to be a knuckleballer out there. Now they're going to walk Howard and deal with Mayberg.
Did you ever see a catcher get changed in the middle of an inning? I mean, seriously.
That's a good point.
Wheels, I've never seen 4 pass balls in a game.
No, it could be a record. You're right. Unless, like I said, there was some knuckleballer out there that drove a guy nuts.
That's true. So an intentional walk, and the bases are loaded. And John Mayberry, who has walked 3 times, is up. The Phillies had the bases loaded in the 8th and didn't score. Now they have them loaded here in the 9th inning. Can they get the winning run across the plate? That's the guy that matters right there. Utley's over at second. Howard's at first.
And Schierholtz, he's the guy you look at right now to get the walking lead off third the way this thing's going.
Mayberry slices it foul. He swung at the first pitch.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Well, as you said, it's hard for everybody to see up there. The hitter, catcher's having a little trouble. Look at those shadows. It's nasty.
0-1 the count to Mayberry. Phillies have left 9 today. As we said, the bases loaded in the 8th. Now they have them loaded here in the 9th. The count is no balls and 1 strike. And it's 0-2. Line drive toward left field. Gonzalez coming on. He dives and he made the catch. No, he dropped it. And the Phillies win the ball game.
Trap.
It's a trap and the Phillies win it. Schierholtz scores. It's a 3-2 game. The Phillies have won it 3-2 here in the bottom of the 9th inning again. How about that? Wow. Rob Drake didn't call it after Gonzalez made the attempts, but then everybody just stopped, and then they continue.
It looked like he had made a spectacular play on that. Well, the way that inning was going, it's fitting it ends on a bizarre play. He got a great jump on this. It looks like he has it. He dives.
And then
it came out right away. Oh, that way nobody could see it because he covered it up. The ball's on the ground. He's laying on it.
An RBI single for John Mayberry that was in and out of the glove of Carlos Gonzalez, and the Phillies win it 3-2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. He left his feet. He had it there. The contact with the ground. And Mayberry finally realizes it right there.
Yeah, the ball's underneath of him.
And he's down to the field. Murph, take it away.
All right, thank you very much. John and I just talking about that. I've never really seen anything like it. Did you know it was a base hit off the bat, or did you know if you caught it or not?
No. I rounded first and looked at the umpire. Still hadn't seen him make the call, so I just kind of held my breath.
Your teammates made it about halfway out of the dugout, then they all stopped, and then they were able to mob you. And it's something we've talked about before, but that kind of thing never gets old for you guys, huh?
Absolutely not. It's a great feeling to be able to come through, in a big situation like that and just be able to pull out the win.
It's the 11th come from behind walk-off win for this team, and it seems like different guys are doing it each time. This is your second time this year, but just talk about the resiliency of this team as you guys continue to climb up and keep an eye on those standings.
Absolutely. I think that we fight hard every 27 outs, and we had a great pitching performance today, and just try to squeeze one across home plate at the end.
You have 2 down in this series. You got 1 more again. You're going to come right back and play another one tonight. If you're playing this well and playing the way you guys are you happy about coming back out tonight?
Yeah, I think that we ride the momentum. We got Cloyd throwing tonight, so he's pitched very well for us so far. We're just looking forward to going out there and winning another one.
All right, John, congratulations. Appreciate it. Guys, we're back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. A great way to finish off game 1 of this day-night doubleheader. Carlos Gonzalez, he had it right there, and then the ground caused the fumble. On the first Sunday of the National Football League, our Chevrolet player of the game, John Mayberry, wins it on a game-winning RBI single that went in and out of the glove of Carlos Gonzalez. He was mobbed by his team, And the Phillies win it 3-2. Jonathan Papelbon gets the win in both of these walk-off victories for the Phillies.